Are you ready for a great adventure? Today on The World is Yours. We're going to the United Kingdom, to the city where one of the world's biggest bands hails, as well as one legendary football club. We'll have a ball in Liverpool. Then we'll take a short flight over to see some of Europe's most stunning castles, surrounded by the Tatra Mountains in Poland. We'll also hit the slopes before we head out to our last destination, where we'll explore one of the best national parks in America's Pacific Northwest, in the state of Oregon. So grab your hiking boots and let's go. The world is waiting and the world is yours. We start our journey in the English city of Liverpool. Liverpool is the 5th biggest city in England, but it wasn't always a city. Located in the district of West Derby in the county of Lancashire. Liverpool's position on the Irish Sea made it a major port, leading to its expansion and designation as a city in 1880. Now, over 2 million residents call Liverpool home. And do you know who else got their start in Liverpool? The Beatles! The 1960s brought with it what has been coined the Mersey beat sound. Also referred to as beat music, this style of British rock and roll swept through Europe, originating right here in Liverpool and along the Mersey River. Beat music became a movement, leading to the British invasion of rock acts that took the world by storm. The Animals, the Kinks, the Rolling Stones. So many great bands formed in Great Britain during the 60s. Rich in art and culture, it's no wonder Liverpool is such a tourist hotspot. Right on Lime Street, we'll find one of the most notable buildings in the city, St. George's Hall. This World Heritage Site may be a courthouse, but it not only contains courtrooms, law chambers, and prison cells lining the expansive basement, but it also has a large concert hall right in the middle of the building. The vaulted ceiling is decorated with figures that represent science, art, virtues, and do you know what the most impressive part of the hall is? The magnificent St. George's organ. This organ has a massive 7,737 pipes. Originally built in 1855 by Henry Willis, known as Father Willis, one of the most famous organ builders in England, the organ was expanded in 1937 by his grandson, Henry Willis III, who made it into the largest organ in England at the time. To one side of St. George's Hall, we'll find St. John's Garden, part of a conservation area where the Great Heath used to be, an open green space before Liverpool grew after the 18th century. It is full of beautiful flower beds and memorial statues to great British figures. On the other side of the hall is St. George's Plateau. This flat landmark has some pretty cool elements to check out, including bronze statues in honor of Prince Albert, Queen Victoria, and Major General William Earl, the renowned British Army officer who fought in the Crimean War. The people of Liverpool gather in St. George's Plateau for all kinds of events, both political and celebratory. Can you imagine the kind of celebrations that take place here when, say, a particular football club wins a championship? If we want to check out a game, we should head to the stadium. So, we'll need to leave Lime Street by walking right next door to the train station. The Liverpool Lime Street train station, to be exact. The Liverpool Lime Street station is a terminus station, meaning it's the end of the line for the railways in the city. It's the largest and oldest station in Liverpool, as well as the oldest terminus mainline station still in use in the entire world. How about that? And the main line is a major part of the station, serving the entire city, as well as the surrounding region, The station also has stops on the Wirral Rail and Merseyrail networks that can be reached between the mainline station and St. George's Hall. Traveling underground just like London's Tube and New York's subway. The same vast glass enclosures from the 19th century cover the mainline station. And within it, some great places to do a little shopping, stop for coffee, all before we catch our train to see a premier football match. The prestigious Anfield Stadium, England's sixth largest stadium, with a capacity over 50,000, is where we'll find the Liverpool Football Club. The team plays in the English Premier League, the most competitive tier in England, winning the league title a remarkable 18 times, the second most championships in the Premier League. Only rival club Manchester United has won more. In addition to the Premier League, Liverpool has 26 other tournament cups and is the 8th most valuable football club in the world. When the team hits the pitch in their all-red uniforms, we'll know it's time for the match to begin. The title of the Liverpool anthem, "You'll Never Walk Alone," is written above the iron Shankly Gates. And that same iron decor from the gates, along with the city's liverbird, adorn the team's crest. With a football team this good, and a following in Liverpool as dedicated as they are, we're in for a real spectacle. After our game, we'll catch a short flight over to the mountains lining the Polish border. But first, let's test your world knowledge. Poland is home to a large population of white storks. What percentage of the world's white storks calls Poland home? A, 5%. B, 10%. C, 25%. D, 50%. The answer coming up when we return to The World Is Yours. We're back. Let's find out the answer to our question. Poland is home to a large number of white storks. What percentage of the world's white storks calls Poland home? A, 5%. B, 10%. C, 25%. D, 50%. If you said C, 25%, you're right. Wow. The white stork migrates across Europe, parts of Northern Africa, as well as Western Asia. But an impressive 25% of all the white storks in the world are here in the country of Poland. Storks have been nesting in the Podhale region of Poland, which has a high altitude. And they have been climbing higher and higher, with nests as high as 3,000 feet. Even with wings, that's a real high-rise house. The Republic of Poland is made up of 16 provinces. Poland's economy is one of the strongest in the European Union, with the biggest stock exchange in Central Europe. It is growing into a global power, with greater and greater influence on the world's affairs. And the history of this country is impressive too. Poland can be traced all the way back to the year 700 BCE. The discovery of Biskupin, a fort from the Iron Age, rebuilt to fully replicate the structures of the ancient Lusatian people that first settled in Poland. The Slavic tribes that formed the roots for the Polish culture came to the region in the 5th century, and they developed and formed into a united entity, leading to the reign of the Piast dynasty during the early 10th century. The last ruler of the Piast dynasty, King Casimir III the Great, ordered a castle complex to be built in the city of Krakow to serve as his new residence. This structure, one of the largest castles in all of Poland, was known as the Wawel Royal Castle. The Wawel Royal Castle became one of the most significant symbols of Poland. and served as the residence of many Polish kings. Long before the castle was built, people were living in the area now known as Wawel Hill. It may surprise you, but the area was bustling with farming and trading a whole 50,000 years ago in the Paleolithic era. Wawel Hill continued to thrive, and Polish royalty moved their residence here. Now, the Wawel Royal Castle is one of the country's most prestigious national museums. The castle's crown treasury, located in the Gothic rooms, holds the remaining royal insignia and ceremonial artifacts of royals past. When we tour the Wawel Royal Castle, we'll be able to see all this history on display, as well as the royal staterooms, the royal private apartments, the royal gardens, and one of the coolest hidden caves we've ever explored. Polish folklore tells the story of a mythical dragon. The story tells of the dragon of Wawel Hill that lived in this very cave, near the Vistula River. The tale gives the cave its name, Smoka Yama, Polish for Dragon's Den. In the legend of the Wawel dragon, the creature was slayed by a simple cobbler. That's a shoemaker. How cool is that? Might there be a dragon residing deep in the limestone cavern? Maybe we'll find out as we explore the chambers of the Dragon's Den. And if not, well, there's always this awesome fire-breathing statue of the dragon just outside the cave. An even more breathtaking natural wonder can be found in the Polish countryside. Along the border of Slovakia is the Great Tatra Mountain Range. The highest range in the Carpathians, the mountainous arc extends through Europe for over 900 miles. The Tatra Mountains cover over 300 square miles, with the tallest point found in Slovakia. The Gerlach Peak reaching an astounding 8,710 feet high. At the foot of the Tatra Mountains lies a small town with a big tourism draw. Zakopane, located at the very southernmost point of Poland, in the Podhale region, between the Tatra Mountains and Gubulówka Hill. The town is home to a highland culture called the Górals, and is known as the winter capital of Poland for all the great winter activities that take place here each year. For a town of less than 30,000 residents, Zakopane brings in about 2.5 million tourists each year. Pretty amazing. The summer months attract those looking to hike, bike, and climb through the Tatra Mountains. The hippest street in town, Krupówki, is lined with shops and restaurants, and full of rides and performers. It's a perfect place to see the heart of this lovely rustic town. Come during the winter months, and you're in for some serious snow sports, like skiing, snowboarding, snowmobiling, and ice skating. We're in for one last stop on our path through some of the world's best national parks. But first, let's test your world knowledge. Which of these geographical aspects can be found in Oregon? A. Forests. B. Deserts. C. Volcanoes. D. All of the above. The answer coming up when we return to The World is Yours. We're back. Let's find out the answer to our question. Which of these geographical aspects can be found in Oregon? A. Forests. B. Deserts. C. Volcanoes. D. All of the above. If you said D, all of the above, you're right. Oregon is one of the most naturally diverse states in the United States for its evergreen forests, high deserts, arid shrublands, large lakes, and Oregon's highest point, the peak of its composite volcano, Mount Hood. Oregon. One of just 3 states along the Pacific coast, Oregon is lush with natural beauty, as well as some great cities. And so many incredible parks, which protect amazing wildlife. We have lots to see in this great state of Oregon. Of the many parks in Oregon, Crater Lake National Park is the only national park in the state. And with its establishment in 1902, the 5th oldest national park in the United States. Crater Lake, formed on the caldera of an old volcano, the vacant space left after lava leaves the ground, is known for its clear water that reaches almost 2,000 feet below the surface, making it the deepest lake in the country. The lake was formed over 7,500 years ago when Mount Mazama collapsed. And with no rivers feeding it, the water in the lake is replenished only by rain and snow. The lake has 2 islands, Wizard Island and Phantom Ship. Plus, there's the famous Old Man of the Lake. It looks like a person floating out there, but it's actually just an old tree stump that's been floating out there for over 100 years. Crater National Park covers 180,000 acres of land, and the rim of the caldera reaches up to 8,000 feet. The park is perfect for camping excursions and has some of the most scenic hiking trails in North America. Cleetwood Cove, the Watchman, Lightning Spring, Plakeney Falls, Garfield Peak, and Castle Crest Wildflower Garden. Pretty cool names and some awesome hikes. From the lush green forests of Crater Lake to Oregon's high desert, we're headed next to Smith Rock State Park. The cliffs make for great rock climbing, and the park is credited as the birthplace of sport climbing in America. It's got some of the best climbing paths and is a top destination for all forms of climbing. Traditional rock climbing, sport climbing, multi-pitch climbing, and bouldering. Smith Rock has over 1,800 climbing routes. Some of the most popular include the Christian Brothers collection of spires, the Dehedrals, the Upper and Lower Gorge, the Marsupials, the Monkey Face Spire, Morning Glory Wall, Picnic Lunch Wall, Rope-to-Dope, Ships and Gullies, and the West Side Crags. The list goes on and on. If you're interested in the sport of climbing, Oregon is a must. Now that we've climbed atop some of America's best cliffs, we'll head next to a hidden gem in the form of an Oregon beach town. But first, let's test your world knowledge. A cannon washing ashore on the beach gave Cannon Beach its name. From what U.S. Navy ship did that cannon come? A. USS Shark. B. USS Whale. C. USS Dolphin. D. USS Octopus. The answer coming up when we return to The World Is Yours. We're back. Let's find out the answer to our question. A cannon washing on the shore of the beach gave Cannon Beach its name. From what U.S. Navy ship did that cannon come? A. USS Shark. B. USS Whale. C. USS Dolphin. D. USS Octopus. If you said A, USS Shark, you're right. The USS Shark was a schooner sailing ship in the U.S. Navy that launched from the Washington Navy Yard in 1821. The ship, having just been repaired in Hawaii, left for Oregon on a voyage mission. It was grounded at the mouth of the Columbia River. The crew was saved, but the USS Shark was destroyed. and a cannon from the ship floated onto the beach nearby. The cannon inspired the community to rename the town, and now Cannon Beach is a tourist resort town and haven for local Portlanders who want to get out of the city for the weekend. There are fewer than 2,000 residents in this small beach town, but the town's events draw visitors from all over, including the Stormy Weather Festival, the Spring Unveiling Festival, and an annual Sandcastle Festival that is definitely worth the trip to Cannon Beach. With a serene, picturesque view of the lush evergreen trees along the coast of the Pacific Ocean, Cannon Beach is a peaceful, relaxing town, and the perfect way to wrap up our amazing adventure. We walked the streets of Liverpool, home to the Beatles, and one of the best football teams in the world. We explored the Wawel Royal Castle and a cave rich with stories of a mighty dragon before hitting the slopes of the Tatra Mountains in Poland. And we set sail for Cannon Beach, cruising down the Columbia River before heading north to climb the cliffs of Smith Rock State Park in Oregon. Thanks for joining us on our trip around the world. There are many more adventures to come. Until next time, the world is waiting, and the world is yours.